When I was 16, I went to therapy for the first time. My therapist was kind of like, this had to happen. And that never sat right with me because she was referencing um, the relationship between me and my ex girlfriend, right? My first girlfriend, my only other relationship I've had besides Julianne. And I dated this person from like, I think 15 to 19, right? And I was a really, like, I hurt her a lot, dude. I hurt her so much. I was a terrible ass dude, bro. I think for the first year it was fine, and then like we had like a break or like there was like a breakup, and then every time it was like that let's get back together, and then I'll change, I promise I'll change, and I was just a piece of shit, right? And or love bombing or like whatever it was, I was just not a good guy, dude, and I really like emotionally hurt her a lot, emotionally manipulated her. And this is not to say like, oh, I deserve forgiveness from her at all, and this is not it, like, and it's taking me, and I don't know, it's like, did I really have to hurt someone to like learn a lesson? And that's what didn't sat right with me on that for that with my first therapist was like, and that idea has never sat right with me. It's like, did I really have to hurt somebody for me to like learn a lesson? Is that really what needed to happen? Um, and so I think I internalized that where after that relationship, and I vowed to never treat a woman like that ever again. I just took all of that pain and like, and I just took it out on myself, right? And I became the victim of myself. And throughout the years I just destroyed my mind, my spirit, my body. Um and that's just what I did, because it was never going to be like I'm going to learn a lesson through hurting others. It's like this is all going to be self-contained. All the pain I'm feeling, and yes, that's not to say like that the people in my life weren't like like aren't affected by me. It's just that they weren't the primary. My pain wasn't directed at them. It's just they were feeling like the effects of my isolation. My friends were feeling the effects of me isolating. And then later when me and Julian started dating, like when I had like these, had and have continue to have like these depressive episodes. Yes, it hurts her in the sense that like I'm choosing my isolation over her, or I'm choosing to like burden myself with this pain rather than allowing her in. But my issue with allowing her in was like with allowing Julianne is like, oh, I'm going to repeat this thing where it's like with the first girlfriend, where it's like, am I really going to like allow her in to this thing that this my mental health, and this thing that really caused so much pain to my first relationship? Am I going to allow Julianne into this too? Right. And like eventually I mean me and Julian decided like to let her in, but it's so painful for her, right? But my point being is like, it's all self-contained, like it's all self-affliction, whether it's my addiction, whether it's isolation, self-deprecation, suicidal ideation, all the things is just all like the gun, like metaphorically being pointed at myself. It's just me burning myself. And yes, I think family and friends can look at me and feel really bad because they're like, oh my god, you know why is he doing this? Like we don't, they feel bad and they're like, we don't want him to do this. But it's not like I'm like burning someone else and then feeling so shameful about that I make a change, right? That's never gonna. I would never allow that to happen again. Where I'm gonna allow myself to hurt someone so badly that my hand is forced to make the change, right? And I was just thinking about that today on my walk, because one of my friends was just talking about something that she was going through, and like, and this person in her life like kind of hurt, like had to betray someone in order to hit rock bottom, and then through that has become a new person and stuff like that. But that only happened once to me, where I betrayed someone, not like in a cheating way, but just like I was a piece of shit, right? And I came out of that, right? And it's like, okay, like I now have to bear the burden of this pain that I hurt this person. And yes, other people can forgive me, and yes, eventually I have to forgive myself for this pain that I caused. But I would never expect that the person that I hurt to like be like, oh, you're changed. And I think that was such a mistake I made. Like that showed I kind of didn't change. Where when I turned 19, or during COVID, when I had some like large, like it was like the first time I ever like had like real emotional reflection, or some self awareness in my life, where I like reflected upon my first relationship, was like, holy fucking shit, like I was such a piece of shit, right? And I try to come to her and like talk to her and like really apologize, but it's like, what does she have to say? It's so late. It's so late. It's so late, and then it's like, wait, I'm just doing, it's like I'm like, look, I've changed, like really, like I did it this time, and I'm so sorry, like I'm genuinely apologizing, but it's still like about me, which I didn't understand at the time, but I was still making it about me, where it's like I'm apologizing for myself, you know, and then like kind of like wanting the person to like have a response when they shouldn't. Like, I should have known that. Like, first of all, I shouldn't even have approached her with this. I should have just bear that burden and been like, I hurt this person, and like, yes, but the apology is for me. Like, it was for me. It wasn't for her, right? And I think that was such a mistake I made when I was younger, because it's like now, like, I mean, I haven't hurt someone like that ever again. And but if I did, oh well, I mean, I hurt my ex roommate, but that was because the third roommate lied and said that I said something that I never said, and then me and my roommate, who was my best friend, like we didn't talk for like 6 months, even though we lived in the same house, because he thought I like hated him or something, right? But I didn't even like do, you know what I mean? But still, that's still on me for not like just being like, hey, what's going on with us, right? Like that's all on me. But anyways, my point being is that, I mean, we see this a lot with men in men, like in media, where it's like, oh, poor them, but not really. Like a lot of these men do fucked up shit to women all the time. They either beat up women, cheat on them, and I'm not coming out like women are pure or whatever, but dude, like, come on, like, dude, these a lot of these people in media, the NBA players, NFL players, like fighters, celebrities, whatever. A lot of times they've like essayed women and all this stuff, but it's like, like a good example is Shia LaBeouf. He beat up his ex girlfriend, so I forgot her name, so badly that she was like unrecognizable. But yet he comes on a podcast with John Bernthal, and he's like talking about all the shit he went through, and it's like, and people are like forgiving, like it's okay. So many people are so easy to forgive men when men hurt women, but it's like, you should do, like, what, how, like, I think everyone comes to like be there for men, but no one's like there. Like, it's they're like, how do I put this? Like, if you're in a church and you do something really bad, people are gonna pray for you. But do they pray for the person you did the bad thing to? Probably not. Especially if the bad thing was done to a woman, and you're the dude that did the bad thing. It's like, oh, you know, we forgive you. The devil took you. Whatever it is. Like, that's so fucked to me. That's so fucked to me. And then you see this all throughout. Yes, they talk about, like, I don't know, dude. It's just, I'm not trying to get. That's not the point of this. Is to get like, talk about the world or whatever. I'm just talking about myself, which is that, I don't know. I've just pondered upon that question a lot. Is like, is it necessary to hurt people in order to like grow, like to learn a lesson? Like, do sometimes you have to hurt others people? Like, is that sometimes that to like, especially if all you're doing is like hurting yourself repeatedly over and over again, and like, let's say you're just hurting yourself, and it's like this contained thing, like I'm doing, like, and you're okay with hurting yourself, like that's okay, because you're, at least you're like, putting the pain on you, right? Like, and then eventually you hurt other people. It's like, but is that necessary? Like, is that necessary? Or sometimes you don't even hurt other people for the most part, or hurt yourself. Like, for the most part, you're hurting other people. It's like, does that really need to be? Does that have to happen? Does that have to happen to like learn lessons? It's like, why does there always have to be a victim? And I don't know if this is for women too. Like, I can only speak on men. It's like, I think when you're conditioned, in the patriarchy, like, as men are also victims of the patriarchy, it's like when you're conditioned to not express emotion, and like all this like macho shit, it's like, okay, well, so and hide your emotions, and we're not allowed. I go to therapy. I break that mold. I go to therapy. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm a pretty emotional guy, and I'm okay to do that. But beforehand, I wasn't. And I was becoming like my father, where it's like the only way to express yourself is through aggression and anger, right? And it's like, well, of course, if the only way you're expressing yourself if there's aggression and anger is like you're only gonna snap out of it like when you really hurt someone. But sometimes you don't. I mean, there's plenty of men that just continue to be abusers their whole life. Fathers that continue to beat up their fucking children and their wife. Like, I don't know. They don't ever snap out of that, and it's always it's sometimes exacerbated by alcohol or other drugs. But I don't know. I think that's a really great question that I that there may be an answer to, is not all the time, but sometimes, like, is it necessary that someone is a victim, like that someone's a victim of your behavior, or you hurt someone, and like, is that necessary to like? does that have to happen for you to like learn certain lessons? Like, does that really have to happen? And I don't know. I struggle with that a lot, but because that shit's never happen again, bro. I'm never let like that. That shit happened when I was a teenager. It never happened again, bro. 100%. I worked. I fucking like pulled my body. I like, you know, made my body inside out. I looked at myself inside out. I tore apart everything, fucking scraped all the shit out of my body to ensure that that was not the case. I removed the generational curses. I healed the whole shebang. I'm not saying I'm like some freak of nature. Obviously, I have bad days, and obviously, but I've healed a lot of the generational curses, and like I'm not like I will not hurt someone like ever again, like that, like in that way. Yes, I might have an argument with like people, like sure, yes, I'm a normal person, but like really like to gaslight or to stonewall or to deflect or to like say certain shit like emotionally abusive, like psychologically, whatever it is, like that's and that's once again not to say like, oh, like good on me, I've grown, like I'm such a great guy now, like no, like that's like I feel like I could be wrong, but I mean I don't imagine my ex ever thinks about me ever, but if she did, like I don't think it would be in a good light, and neither would her family, and like that's not something like that's I'm okay with that because I mean that's that. Why would they think differently? Like I did a lot of fucked up. Like I'm a piece of shit, you know, and I don't expect forgiveness for that. But I have to move on with my life. You know what I mean? And I have to like bear that burden. And this is like this is some shit I think about like all the time. Like this, which is not once again to say, oh, like feel bad for me. Like no, do not feel bad for me. But I imagine all of us have shit that we've done and that you're just like you think about it pretty often. And like yes, there's a victim to that thing, and like that victim, it's never their like responsibility, or they never have to forgive you. Like that's okay, right? And you have to bear that burden. You have to swallow that fucking shit because you did some fucked up shit, right? But anyways, I'm out of here, guys, girls, gays, queers. They, them, these are any, all, everyone. Have a blessed rest of your Wednesday. I'll catch you guys on a beautiful Thursday.